Okay, we're live, which means I'm not going to say anything incriminating because this video is going to be posted up. Oh, by the way, can you grab my glasses? They're up on the counter. Thank you, sweetie. And we already had some comments coming through, but I can't read them because the first person just said blur, 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 blur. And the next person.
Glasses, it would still say blur because they're dirty.
Yeah, are they? All right.
There you go.
And let's see if anybody's joining in. We've got, oh my God, already 20 people here. Can't wait to hear about what happened on 18. Oh, these are two people that already commented. 17. So what I'm going to be doing, because we have a specific topic we're going to talk about, something I'm just going to try doing. And hello. But I'm going to give like 5 minutes for people to come into the room and see how many people join up. But I mean, I posted a video that recapped the actual round. This is going to be specific to talking about fear of failure and pushing past that. There will not be a tomorrow. I did not make the cut. Overall, the tournament didn't go well. I had a great round today. Super happy. You and your brother. Oh, the eagle eye open. Oh, I thought you say you saw the eagle. My eagle on hole 18. It was, actually, I will chat about that for a minute. When we get to 5 minutes, then we'll start talking about what we're here for. But yeah, the final hole of the tournament after such a rough couple days. Had a very good round today, a 1032 rated round. And on the final hole, 1035. Okay, it was 1032 when I finished. Now it's 1035. Yes. But the final hole 18, a really challenging par 4. I smashed the heck out of a drive. The out of bounds green area, I came up just short on, which is the goal because you're not going to pass the green. I was actually shocked because I threw the hyzer, which is the safe way to get into the fairway, and actually was like 5 feet short of the green, which is, I didn't think I could throw it that far on a hyzer uphill, like 420, but like steep hyzer uphill. And then I threw it in from 220 feet for an eagle, and the entire gallery for the lead card was standing there watching. So it was those who say they can and those who say they can't are usually both right. Ha! But yeah, so I threw in the eagle in front of the gallery, and it felt like the disc golf gods like smiled on me after such a rough day yesterday. But yeah, like I said, we're going to just chat here for a couple minutes, and then at 5 minutes in, we're going to start talking about, I know the uphill shots, I'm like on fire. Riley Manderscheid, please explain the rating 1035. I played really well. That was the 1035. What's up, buddy? Thank you, Black Zombie. I played well. I didn't play out of control. Hey, what's up? Thank you, my brother, Matt. Thank you, Matt. All right, we got about a minute and a half, and we're going to start talking about the topic of discussion from today. A good putting grip and myself, any tips? Yes. Search for Scott Stokely grip on YouTube, and I've got videos about putting grip, actually. How many is that under par? It was 5 under par on a hard course with lots of OB and lots of wind. On my card, no one shot under par, and I shot 5 down. So it's pretty good. All right. I will tell him. All right. Hi, Patrick. Patrick says hi. So hi, Patrick. Yeah, today was a great day. But we're gonna, like I said, we got a very specific topic. And so if you're logging in, give it about 1 more minute and let everybody kind of jump in. And then thank you for buying my tour disc. It means the world to me. But I also, more important than that, I think they're great discs that you're going to score well with. So yeah, in about 5 minutes, then we'll start talking about the topic of discussion. And we'll get some feedback on if you all like this stuff, because this is a little bit different. I did not make the cut. I mean, yesterday was a disaster. But yeah, the next one's Waco. But I'm cool. I'm cool with it because it ended the way it needed to end, and everything turned out just fine. All right, so 10 more seconds, and we're going to start talking about I have not thrown any rollers yet because my roller discs aren't in. I have a number of discs that are going to go in my bag that aren't in. I'm only throwing a couple models right now because I'm waiting for discs to come in. Okay, we're at 5 minutes in. We're going to start as I spill coffee on myself live on YouTube. We're going to talk about something very specific, and it's not, well, it relates to disc golf in this case because, you know, I'm a disc golfer. This is kind of what spurred this idea, but this is more about life. If you're just interested in specific disc golf stuff, this might not be for you. But I want you all to post in the comments. Let me know if you think that you like these or not. You know, if you just want to hear disc golf stuff, I'm happy just to do that. So it's just kind of an experiment. So I want to talk about pushing past the fear of failure and how to handle it when failure steps up and gives you a bloody nose. And I'm going to apologize in advance. I do not intend, I hope, for this to come across preachy or like I'm some know-it-all who has all the answers. I don't believe that even for a minute. There are so many things out there that I'm absolutely terrible at. And if you ask me about any of them, I will honestly tell you I suck at that thing. But aggressively going after what I want in life and not being afraid to fail, not letting anxiety get in the way is one of those areas where I knock it out of the park. Again, I'm not good at a lot of stuff, but this is something that I really got a handle on. And I wanted to just chat about that because one of the most heartbreaking things in my life is I have seen so many friends and family and people I care about who don't go after the things they want. And I believe that the fear of failure is the number one barrier that keeps people from achieving. And let me start by explaining, like, I think people have a misunderstanding of what the definition of failure is, at least my definition, because I failed this weekend. I failed at this tournament. 100%. I set out, I had a goal, I intended to do something. Not only did I not achieve my goal, but I was about as far from that goal as possible. I mean, I had a good round today, so I guess it could have been worse. I failed. And when I say that, almost anybody that supports me or cares about me, like, is going to want to write back, well, you didn't fail. No, you're going to learn from this, or you're going to get better, or happens to anybody, or just like any type of excuse you could possibly make, or not excuse, but try to soften it. This idea that I failed, or just simply tell me that I didn't fail. And I think that comes from this idea that failure is a bad thing. Like that failure is somehow a negative, or like failure is something to be avoided. It's not negative. It's not negative at all. Now, that does not mean it doesn't suck, right? Failure sucks. I mean, I'm sitting, like, I make these videos and I'm always have a positive attitude. I try to put a good spin on things and keep things in perspective, put a smile on my face, be professional. In every measurable way, I probably come across like nothing phases me. But that's nonsense. Like, I'm not a robot. Yesterday sucked. And it didn't suck. I mean, my group was awesome. It was a beautiful day. I'm playing frisbee golf for a living. I mean, come on. It's not like it sucks on the grand scheme of things, but it hurt. It did suck, you know? And the reason why is because, like, I've been building up to this thing for 10 months. Now, I've been on a bigger stage before in the sense I've been to World Championships trying to win on the lead card. That was clearly like a more important event for me than anything that'll happen, you know, at a regular tour event. But like 300 people were watching. I did everything in my power the last 10 months to make sure that everybody in the sport was watching me. And I did the math on my social media, based on my social media numbers and the DGPT, et cetera. And I suspect somewhere around 300,000 people checked in on my score the last couple days. So I failed in front of 1,000 times as many people as I have ever competed in front of before. Like, I failed and it sucked. And it's not a bad thing, because I think first off, the fear of failure, I think it comes more than anything from not being able to make an honest evaluation of what that failure actually looks like. It's the unknown fear of failure. And I think that if you can put a name to the things that are what failure are, you can have perspective and realize it really isn't that bad. Now, I'll give you an example. I mean, everything that happened yesterday and the day before is what I've been terrified of for 10 months. I'm going to get everybody I can possibly get to watch me do this thing that's really hard to do. God, I hope I don't fail. God, I hope I don't play poorly. God, I hope. Never thought I'd miss my first hole. Terrible. The thing that got me through that fear was, well, what happens if I do? Am I going to get sick? Right? Like, do I get some disease that's going to cripple me? Am I going to lose friends? Like, is my partner, my girlfriend breaking up with me? Like, does my kid stop loving me? Like what actually is going to happen if I fail? Are people going to laugh at me? No. I mean, maybe some, but probably not to my face, but it's okay. Are there going to be some people out there saying, I told you so at league night to their buddies who were like telling them how I was going to smash it? Probably. Feel bad about that. Not the end of the world. I knew I was just going to get supported by the people that care about me. Keep your head up. We're proud of you. We're still following you. We're rooting for you. The season's young. The sun was in your eyes. The disc slipped out of your hand 19 times. Like, I knew I was going to get that. And when I really looked at what failure was going to look like, I realized that it wasn't the end of the world, or it wasn't going to be the end of the world. And therefore I could do this hard thing that I might fail at. And I think this happens with the people that I see that, like, it's not about disc golf, right? It's like I have a friend who is an electrician, and he's been an assistant, I don't know, like, it's got to be 20 something years now. And he's so pissed off because his boss makes all the money and he does all the work. 20 years later, he's still working for the guy. Why are you not going after something bigger? Like, why are you not going for something? What is stopping you from trying this? Like, I think it's the fear of failure. Like, he has steady income. What if he loses his income? He has consistency. I mean, these are real issues, right? This is a real thing. But at some point, he's afraid of what's going to happen if it fails. Because if he knew that he was going to succeed and he was going to be the boss and making all the money, guaranteed he would do it. You know, same thing I think about, like, and I think everybody here probably knows people who are artists, whether they're musicians, painters, like, you name it. We all know artists who are doing taxes at some big company that they're not supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be painting. They're supposed to be making music. Like, we see them do this, and probably some people even here. Why? Like, what makes you not do that? Because every musician in the world, if they knew they were going to be successful doing music, would do music, and they wouldn't be accountants. All of them. There must be this inherent fear of it not working out. And like, I would, if there's anything, like, if there's like the one thing I could do this entire season, if I could pass anything in my old man, I'm gonna, like, fingers crossed, because I'm gonna pretend that I'm gonna be around a long time, but like, in my old, as I'm getting older, if I could pass along some of this knowledge, is that failure is not a bad thing. Failure means, like, you have the opportunity to succeed at things. Like, this is God's honest truth. And I've said this, like, so many times. Like, I have an amazing life. It's because I have failed more than any person I've ever known. Like, all I've done my entire life and this is why I feel like I'm qualified to talk about this, is because I've been a massive failure so many times, is that I've gone after things. I've gone after it, failed, gone after it, failed, gone after it, succeeded. Bam, that's something huge, way better than had I not tried those three things. And by the way, this isn't going to be me just being preachy the whole time. Everybody's sending some great comments. I'm going to open this up and we're going to talk about stuff in a minute. So let me just kind of wrap up what I want to kind of what I had in my head, and then we'll bring everybody into this. But it's that failing is what you need to succeed. If you don't fail, you cannot succeed. Like, you cannot get a promotion that you don't apply for. Like, you cannot become a successful musician without going on tour. Don't argue. I know you can, but you know what I'm saying. You can't become a professional touring disc golfer without going on tour. You know, like, it's so funny. Like, I've had this conversation, I don't know how many times in the past, literally 30 years, about someone that wants to go on tour that doesn't think they're good enough. What happens if I go on tour and I don't make any money or I don't succeed? You go home. What's the worst that happens? You move back with your parents for a month or two and get a job and get back to right where you started? It's like, so what? So what? You know what? Like, oh, by the way, doesn't mean it doesn't suck. You put your tail between your legs and you come crawling home. In fact, your parents might even tell you that they knew you weren't going to make it. I've ran into those. But that's not a fail. What a fail would be keeping your job that you hate, talking about how you want to be a professional disc golfer, and then not doing it. That's a fail. And I know there's things. I mean, you have kids. I mean, I know this is just a generalization, but you have to be willing to fail. And the other thing is something that I do all the time, and this is one of the reasons I fail a lot, is I put obstacles in front of myself. I put big challenges in front of me. And the reason I do this is because I want to know what I'm capable of. And if I do things that I'm going to succeed at all the time, I have no idea what I'm capable of. If I succeed at something I knew I was going to succeed at, how do I know I couldn't have done more? And so I put big challenges in front of myself. This whole tour this year is a perfect example of this. I know I can go out and win MP50 tournaments. Like, I don't know what I'm capable of until I go against the best in the world. And I don't know the outcome of the story, but I do know one thing. At the end of the season, I will know exactly where I stand in my world. But I only know that because I'm willing to go out there and fail and get my ass kicked in front of everybody. And so we're going to start chatting now. So I want to know from you guys, like what do you guys do? What's up, Mark? What do you guys do? Like, what have you done when you've been afraid that has allowed you to push through it? You know, what drove me to get back out there, seeing what I can do. The only failure is not trying to take a risk. 100%. 100%. Not taking a risk. A coward dies 1,000 deaths. A brave man dies but once. You know, as much as I hate like bumper stickers, that one's pretty much spot on. And you know, and I hate the term coward because it's a tough label to assign someone for not doing something they're afraid of. I'm afraid of heights, and I hate to think that I'm a coward because there's certain mountains I won't climb, but there are mountains that people just kind of like walk up without even like holding on. I'll stop and I can't go. So I hate to use the label coward, but it's a great expression. You know, you fail once. If you try, you fail once. You know, yeah, the only failure is not taking a risk. Fortune favors the bold. Yeah. Like what? Okay. I'll go another bumper sticker. Wayne Gretzky said he's missed 100% of the shots he didn't take. Getting over everyone's opinion, that's not your business. Absolutely. But also understand, what is people's opinions of you? Like, really, what are their opinions going to be if you try and you fail at something? Do people really look badly? I mean, if this was like some cheesy 80s cliche movie where everything's black and white and the bad guys are the bad guys and the good guys are the good guys, yeah, the people that are pointing at you, oh, you're stupid for trying. Like, in the real world, when have you ever heard that? Like, how often does somebody actually say you're an idiot for thinking you could open a restaurant? Like, no one says that. What, like one person of like in your life? So people don't actually. Again, I think that's the fear of the failure, because the reality is they're not going to say that about you. Not really. So yeah, like, just acknowledging that that's really not going to happen. Like, no one points and laughs unless it's a John Hughes movie. I constantly push myself so that my son considers that's the norm. I believe limits. Yeah. Hey, there we go. There's another example. Like, showing your kids you can fail. In fact, this is a big part for me too. I know people follow me, and I know that people look up to me. And so if I'm not afraid to fail, like, you shouldn't be either, right? It's not ski patrol. I don't know what that is, but I'm guessing you're probably right. There's a difference between planning for success and if not. You tried to block Aaron Donald and got smashed. That's not what you've done. But hey, but you got a story the rest of your life, right? The dumb questions are the ones that aren't asked. Keep asking dumb questions. Absolutely. Why not? No one laughs at you, or the people that do, screw them, even though they're not that many. Like, to cut out TV, Netflix, what you really want to do, balance the security. Yeah, I mean, being influenced by other people that aren't positive. Yeah, Ron. I mean, this is Ron Converse. This is coming from a multiple-time world champion, the best in the world at what he does. Yeah, it's have no expectations. Well, it's kind of true, right? The only three aggressive things I haven't tried. Thank you, Dave. And just acknowledging that, you look back at the things you haven't tried. Yeah, you do learn more when you fail. Actually, okay, I don't think that's necessarily true that you learn more than you fail. That's the kind of the expression, you learn more from failure. I think it's more fair to say you learn an equal amount, because you also learn when you succeed. Like, when you succeed at things, you also learn what works. I think saying you only learn from failures, or you learn the most from failures, is a way of encouraging people not to be afraid to fail. But I think that you learn from both. Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna share. I'm gonna share everything. Look at 50 points below your rating. Hey, that's guess what? I did that yesterday. Oh, what's up? The proudest shot I had today. Okay, so I'll be honest. The proudest shot was not the eagle, because that's kind of lucky. I threw in that eagle on the final hole. I stuck to a game plan of being conservative, and there were multiple times where I could have got my backhand out quite a bit further, and I threw a sidearm hyzer just to stick it in the fairway, because I made a game plan that I was just going to play within my game and play conservative, and I forced myself to do that today, and I stuck to my plan, and it worked out really well. I didn't second guess myself on the tee pad, because I was having a good round and feeling strong. So what I'm proud of most is the fact that I played conservative. I threw one shot out of bounds, by about 2 feet. And other than that, I had none. I didn't miss a circle one putt, not one. Actually, I'm 97% circle one for the tournament, which puts me in 11th place in the on the tour so far this year. No video of the eagle throwing. Give it 100%. You can't truly fail. See, and again, I think this is and like, miss your goal, yes, but fail, no way. You're always gaining something, even in a loss. Life is a game. Yeah, but again, I think a part of this too is that, like, and I get the whole point. You can't fail, but it's also the point of this is that failing's okay. Like, failing doesn't suck. Oh, I take that back. Failing does suck. It hurts. So what? You'll wake up the next day. Guess what? The sun will come up tomorrow. Like, I'm pretty confident no matter what happens, the sun's coming up. Oh, what is success for me? I'll tell you what success is for me, Mark. Actually, that's a fantastic question. I'm gonna tell you what my big picture success is, because success to me isn't winning a tournament on the Pro Tour. That's not uh, the ultimate success. The success for me is if I can continue for the rest of my life, I hope, to live the life I want to live. And everything I'm doing, not just competing on the tour, it's about building a company and building a brand and building financial security for me and my girlfriend. We have 2 kids. College costs a little bit of money, and we're trying to help out where we can. And so success to me is being able to live this life. And if I can do that with disc golf, that's part of the life I want to live. Will you help a conservative approach at Waco? Yeah, I am going to be more conservative at Waco. I thought I had to be more aggressive. I'll be honest, it's not that I was intimidated by the players on tour, but there's so many of them that are so damn good. I thought I just got to get out of my mind. Like, I was attacking everything. There's so much out of bounds and so many hazards on this course, and I was just attacking everything. 390 feet with a 20-foot landing area. I'm going to try to stick it surrounded by OB. That's not mathematically sound, but I in my mind had to do that to be competitive. And so today I just wanted to have a round where I didn't have to like force myself to hold my head up on my after video. And I shot 1030 something, and I went, maybe I'm not that I'm misjudging how good everybody is. Maybe I misjudged how good I am. Maybe I am closer than I thought, and that I don't have to go out of my mind to be competitive. So I'm going to be more conservative in Waco because I think I learned something today. Yeah, failing sites, failing seed. I feel like develop some relationship was always a success. Yeah, like, okay, so about develop so many relationships was a success. A lot of the fear of failure comes from, like, we can be really hard on ourselves. Like, I want to make a shirt sometime that just says brains are assholes, because our brains, like, from the best of our knowledge right now, it's the most incredible thing in the known universe is the human brain. It's also the worst thing in the entire world. Our brains are assholes to us. And so it's so easy to focus on the negative when you fail, because, like, in so many ways, negative is stronger than the positive. Like, it shouldn't be. Like, why should that be? And I've known people that I think that's not the case, but my brain always wants to be an asshole to me and focus on this. Like, I have this really bad round. Like, as positive as I'm being, part of my brain is like, you idiot, what are you thinking? You're coming out here to compete. Why would you think you can do that? Everybody just watched you. You know what people are thinking of you. Like, my brain's, and it's bullshit. I know that's not happening objectively. My brain's still telling me. So I think that point, Blake, is important. If you focus on the positive, don't ignore the negatives because we learn from them, but just to focus on the positive, what makes you happier. It's a survival instinct. No, you might be right. I mean, we notice the rustling in the bushes when it turns out to be a tiger, not when it turns out to be wind. The people that think that the rustling in the bushes is a tiger climb the trees 100,000 years ago and live and make more babies that when they hear rustling in the weeds, hear a tiger. There are evolutionary reasons why seeking out the negative or interpreting things as negative is a survival mechanism. That's super smart. Who was that said? The Jeremy Ward. Super smart. There's reasons. In the modern world, we don't really need to have that approach. We don't need to think that way. So this is just a remnant of, like, our hunter and gathering days that we're trying to fight. We got to fight our brains. Everyone here, you got to fight your brain sometimes. Remember, your brain's only your friend sometimes. Sometimes it's awesome. A fear of success. Yeah, so a fear of success and the fear of failure, I think, are the exact same thing. I think they're two sides of the same coin, but I think that a fear of success, it's the same type of anxiety-driven thing of the unknown. And I think if you just look at, I think if you just do the same thing and look at what success looks like, And instead of being afraid of success, think about, well, what does that actually mean? Like, if I played really well, what does it mean? Well, I make more money for a charity and people, give me a bunch of thumbs up in social media and I get patted on the back. And the next tournament, I'm just one of the guys again. So there's nothing really to be afraid of about the success. It's something to try for, but it's not, there's no anxiety there. Optimist, pessimist, and realist. Okay, so Jason, that's a really good point. I want to touch on this one. I love that. I love that point. There's optimists, there's pessimists, and realists. In my experience, what most realists are pessimists who use objective reality or rational thought as a way of being negative. Because I think it's okay to live in a little bit of a make-believe world. And just being a realist is a recipe for being miserable. Truly is. Like, if I was a realist, like, my ego today isn't going to mean much because I'll be dead someday. And if I was being a realist, a 1030 something right around today doesn't mean anything because look at what's going on 10,000 miles away, like the horrific things that are just happening in the world. Like, you can be a realist as just an excuse to be negative. I'm not saying you, but I think you can spin that. I don't think it's bad to be an optimist and even to be self-aware that you're being delusional. All right. I think that you can't, the real world is freaking painful. The real world is scary. The real world could be horrific. It's okay to not see it that way. Here, I'll give you an example. If you go to open up a new business, so let's suppose you decide to open a restaurant. If you have 100 friends who are all realists, every single one of them will tell you have like an 83% chance of failure. And they can point out all your flaws that are going to make it not work. And they're going to tell you, like, they're just being real. Like, it doesn't sound like they're being negative. They're just quoting stats. Bullshit. They're also not your friends. You know what your friends are? The friends are the ones, like, I hate to say this, but the friends are the ones who are going to lie to you. And they're going to say, hey, I know it's tough, but I think you can do it. I know you can do it. And you know what? Instead of being a realist, you'll listen to those people, even though they're kind of full of shit because they don't know you're going to succeed. Who cares? That delusion, not only does it keep you happier, but it drives you forward. So I don't think you always want to be, sorry, I didn't mean to like pick on you on this, this one point, but I've heard so many people say I'm not negative, I'm a realist. I mean, every emo kid in the world is just being rational and objective and a realist, and they're not necessarily happy. Like, I'll choose make-believe happy over real all day long. Yeah, anything physically I can't do on a disc course that I could have done 10 or 20 years ago. Well, I used to throw farther than everybody, and now I don't. But I threw a 1,000-foot hole today and got there in 2 shots, basically flat, tiny bit uphill, not much. But I basically threw a couple 500-foot drives off the tee pad. So my distance is still good, but I'm short. But I didn't realize until I looked at the stats. I'm 97% circle one. The worst part of my game, I felt like, was my putting. And my goal this year was just to be an average putter for the season. If I can be an average touring player putting, I thought, like, if that's my worst area, if I'm average in my worst stat, then I'm in really good shape. And I'm like in 11th place after this tournament, circle one putting. Like, mind blown. Sorry, I said I wasn't going to be about disc golf. Oh man, thank you, Ron. Mike Loya, one of the most underrated players who ever lived. Any chance I'm doing in the bag? Yeah, I've already done several in the bags. I got one coming out. I will probably do it on Monday. But I'm doing an in the bag for every single disc because I think one of the problems with the in the bag videos is that they brush over it. On long hyzer shots, I throw this. When you have a headwind, I throw this disc. It's like, no, I'm going to go in depth on every disc. And why? Because I don't want, I want you to throw the discs I'm recommending because I'm going to give you some really good reasons to. I'm going to be a realist. Wink. Yeah. So yeah, too aggressive, cause unforced errors. Playing too conservative takes away opportunities. Both those things are true. The question is can you like you find the balance? You got to play the correct mathematics, but you also got to pick your battles. I am not good enough to just play purely conservative win a tournament. I will have to play aggressive, out of my comfort zone, and try to get hot. But better at than I was 20 years ago. Okay, yeah, my 200 feet and in. I can take a berg. I can throw it hyzer. I can throw it anhyzer. I can throw it straight on a line. I can put the berg on a dot, and I never could do that until a couple years ago. All right. Love how you explained the disc, how it might fly for us. Yeah, for sure. So proud of you. 50 get back competitive disc golf after 6 years off. That's awesome, man. So here you go. You get back to competitive disc golf. Hey, let me ask you. I'm going to put you on the spot, Tim. Are you afraid of failing? And then shoot me an answer. Like, are you afraid? If not, why? If you are afraid, tell me what you're afraid of. Do I change my bag depending on elevation? Nah. Just change what disc I choose for different shots. Elevation affects disc flight, but not enough to change much. It just everything's just has add a 1 to the fade and subtract 1 from the turn, and that's about what elevation does. So I think relaxing is an important part of success. Maybe. I think that's very individual because everybody, all of our brains are so different. So one of the, I'll give you an example for myself that I don't recommend this for anybody, but so much of what I do is anxiety driven. Now, anxiety sucks, right? Everyone knows anxiety sucks. But it doesn't always, because how you channel that anxiety and how you use that anxiety can work to your advantage. Now, anxiety is not a happy spot. I'm not happy because of anxiety. But the thing about anxiety is I use this all the time to drive me. Like people ask, like, how do I stay so motivated? I got content every day. I got all these discs coming out. I got the tour, got my business, got my seminars, got my clinics, got my teaching. That is anxiety. That's all anxiety. I have anxiety over not getting to live the life I want to live. I have anxiety of not having the money to survive as I'm older, or if I do, it's going to be minimally. And I don't want to spend my last years struggling. My mom did. My mom, after being successful most of her life, struggled financially at the end. It was really hard on her. And unfortunately, at that point in my life, I wasn't even in a position to help her. I have anxiety over that happening. But I'm channeling that to give me the things that I want. And so it's not a bad thing. It's not the happiest place to be in, but it's not a bad thing. Let's see, meditation, float therapy, breathing. No, but I want to do isolation tanks. I really want to do that. No meditation or breathing. Meditation is not my happy spot. Like the minute my shutdown, I have a hard time relaxing. That's just my place. Okay, Tim Murphy, not afraid of failing. He failed so badly at Pro Worlds that you have a better understanding of the game, how to approach it than he did 10 years ago. More excitement. That's awesome. I mean, I love that. I think that an open bag is important. If you're sponsored by a small manufacturer, they don't have all the discs, but the big manufacturers have everything. There's no advantage to your game to go open bag versus just Discraft or just Trilogy or just Innova, just Discmania. These guys all have a full range of discs. But there's an advantage to open bag as far as, like, for me, like, I got Tour Series discs coming out. All my discs are going to be Tour Series discs this year. And certainly if I was throwing from one company, they're not going to make me a bag full of Tour Series discs for sure. So from the business perspective, there's definitely advantage. From a marketing perspective, I got a whole bunch of different companies that'll be promoting me and my brand, which helps my seminars and clinics and the barbecue sauce I have coming out. So from a business perspective, the open bag makes sense. As a player's perspective, everyone makes good discs. LVC was a success. LVC was a no, I failed. That's kind of the point of this. I want to say it's a success because there's so many good takeaways from it, but I sought out to win the tournament and I didn't. That's the definition of failing. I sought out, if I didn't win the tournament, to come out of the gate and smash it and put the fear of God into all these kids. I didn't intimidate and scare a single person out there. In fact, they're like any thought they might have had that I was a competitive, they've probably actually forgotten about it. I plan on changing their minds as the season goes on. No, it was a fail. This first tournament was a fail, but that's the whole point. Doesn't mean that's a bad thing. I failed. It hurt. It sucked. But it was awesome. It's both. I'm okay with failure. Yes, of course I'm okay with failure. Like, I have failed so many times. I'll give you an example. So, talking about failing, I failed at this tournament. And by the way, there's no real indication whether or not I'm going to succeed at any tournament. Like, I think I will. I'm confident that I will, but I don't know. Maybe I fail every single tournament. And the end result is, wow, this was an experiment on the Pro Tour that I failed at. But I'll give you another example, flip side to this. I'm running these seminars around the country now. I'm charging really good money. Like, this is the first time I've ever in my 40-something year career that I'm doing disc golf, and I'm financially very successful. I make very good money teaching disc golf at my seminars. And in order to do that, it's a long story building up to it, but I went and I advertised 44 seminars around the country and posted them. And I'm going to be at every one of these seminars if anybody shows up or not. And there was a chance that I post these and everybody just goes, yeah, that's way too much money. And next thing you know, I'm going to be showing up at all these things not making any money. That was a very real possibility. But that's not what happened. It turned out that I sold out all my events for the year last year almost instantly. I ran another 30 of them afterwards, and I'm doing financially better than I've ever done in my entire life. In a large part of it's because of these seminars. But so that, I had to risk an entire year of my life traveling around the country, showing up at these events that no one signed up for in order to have that success. And I didn't know going in that was going to happen. So this wild success I'm having is only because of the wild risk of failure I was willing to take. I mean, that's it. Chronic injuries. No, I did when I was younger. My back and everything hurt, but I'm great. I've never been in better shape. Got you motivated, Chris, to get back and improve your life and game in the process. That's awesome, man. I love to hear that. Thank you so much, Chris. Fail equals first attempt in learning. There you go. I love learning. No, Riley, I'm kind of glad because it was going to freak me out. You said his name. Hold on, I got to see what Riley said. What did Riley say? I'm going to scroll up. I've known Riley for Mike Travers. Oh my God. Love Mike Travers. I don't know the context is the same, but that's one of the purest human beings. But I haven't seen him for a very long time. Going back to definition of success, I don't think success depends on winning tournaments. None of your definition included winning tournaments. So, Mark, you're actually mistaken. That is one of the measures of success for me because I am out here to win. And if I don't win, it will be a fail. Doesn't mean the whole thing's a fail. The big picture's a fail, that I'm failing in every single area. But a very important part of what I'm out here to do is to win. And if I don't win, it will mean I failed at that goal. And it's okay. That's okay. I should launch the seniors tour. You mean for 60-year-olds? I'm not even close to the seniors tour yet. Someone has broken their back twice. I wish I had an answer for you. That would be so talking out the side of my neck if I tried to give you advice on an injury like that. Oh, why aren't you playing tomorrow? Because I failed this weekend. There you go. I did not succeed in making the cut. Only the top 40% or whatever that number is that are in the money plus ties made the cut, and I wasn't good enough. And I'll say it again. I'll keep saying it. I failed. So what? sucked. So what? It hurt yesterday. So what? Like literally when I got up this morning, it turned out the sun came up. Great. Got to go see my friends. So I scored a new disc. Yeah, thank you. How close was I? I wasn't that close. I was like 4 strokes around out of it. So even with my 4-stroke penalty, I was still not there. But that doesn't mean I won't be. It was like I will be. I have no, like, just the season's young. Like anyone that's like rooting for me and telling people a league that I can do it, don't worry, I got your back. I'll pull off some good tournaments. My score today was 5 under, and it was a 10. I guess it went up to 1035, so a 1035 rated round. All the way to Kokomo, Indiana. I love playing in Indiana. Willing to make a pick tomorrow's winner? No. These are all my friends. I don't want to go public and pick the wrong person. I will be. Am I planning to play Minnesota Majestic? I don't think I'm playing the Majestic. I'm playing the Preserve. I'm playing the Preserve, and my 1 week off this whole season, we're going to be going up to the Boundary Waters and disappearing from civilization for a week up in a canoe. It's how quickly you get strong. 3 5-unders put you on the chase card. No. 3 5-unders put me in the money. Hey, what's up, Judy? It's all, yeah. I'm feeling it. I feel so good. What keeps me so positive? Because I like being happy. I like to spin things in a way. Remember what I said about it's like being a realist is almost an excuse for being negative. Like I like to be. Like I'm honest, I'm objective, I'm rational. I mean, I'm a card-carrying member of the International Society of Skeptics, and I mean that in the literal sense. I'm a scientist. I have Charles Darwin tattooed on my leg. But I also like to live a little bit of my own delusion. Okay, I'm going to give you all a trick for getting older. If you're getting older, this is great. If you're a kid, don't worry about it. But someday this could come in handy. One of the tricks for getting older is to lie to yourself and then choose to believe your lies. And it's amazing. So as I'm getting older, one of the things I've managed to convince myself of is every single waitress at every restaurant I go to is flirting with me. Now, I just ignore that fact that if they're flirting, they're going to get more of a tip. Or maybe they're just nice. Instead, I choose to believe they're flirting with me. I don't feel so old now. That makes me happy. Do I know that that's not true? Duh, obviously. But I objectively choose to live in this little bit of a delusion, and that allows me to keep happy. And this is answer to your question. This is something that I do. I like to believe those things because they make me happy. I'll give you one more example. Our Facebook pages are echo chambers. You know, without going down a rabbit hole, it's one of the biggest problems in the world is that we all exist in social media in echo chambers where we think everybody agrees with us. Go make a joke on your Facebook page and everybody will give you a little laughing emoji. Doesn't mean you're funny. It's an echo chamber. But I like to exist in my echo chamber, even though I know it's an echo chamber. I'm just surrounding myself with positivity and friends and people who support me. It's okay. It's okay that it's not the real world. It keeps me happy to exist there. And I think it works. But I think you always got to be aware that it's not real, but then exist there anyway. It's kind of like opening up like a fictional book and immersing yourself in the story. Suspend disbelief. Like there we go. I like to suspend disbelief if it makes me happy. Are the days of a couple guys dominating the sport like Ricky and Paul over? Yes. Done. It doesn't mean that Paul and Ricky aren't the two best players in the world. I mean, to this day, if somebody has to make a 40-foot putt because you need a kidney, I still pick Paul, right? Like, I don't care where he finishes this year. Like, he's still Paul McBeth. Ricky is still Ricky. But the fields are just so deep that there's so many players that can get hot that if you're a 1055 rated player and you come out and shoot 1065 all weekend, there's so many 1030 players capable of shooting 1070 for a weekend that it's an uphill battle for someone to dominate. But that's what's supposed to happen. Our sport is supposed to be that way. It didn't used to be that way when I was playing. I'd go to a tournament, I was playing against 2 people. And then when Paul was dominating and Paul and Ricky, they weren't playing against 2 people. They were playing against, 10 or 20. Now they're playing against 50. That's what should happen. I believe in Me Too ability disc golf. I appreciate that. Let's see. GB hasn't shot under 1050 this weekend. I know, right? It's annoying. And there's going to be more of him. He's a cool kid, too. All right. Yeah, positive people. Well, yes, you want to start yourself with positive people. That's the key to being happy. It's not necessarily the key to success. You got to just surround yourself with honest people also. But a person can be honest without being negative. Remember I was saying, like, you want your friends to tell you can open the restaurant and they believe in you. You also want, you want to surround yourself with people who will tell you when you're being an idiot too. Like, there's a balance there between those two. Like, you got to find that balance between, you don't want just yes men or yes women. You just mostly want them. How about that? You mostly want them, but you want my best friend in the world, Randy Lom. He's my brother. He's the closest thing to family outside of my daughter, my girlfriend, is my best friend, Randy. And one reason he's my best friend is he will call me my shit faster than anybody I know. Like, he will tell me when I'm being stupid. And he's an incredibly positive, loving person. And he will absolutely tell me to shut the hell up if I'm talking nonsense. So you got to have both. As far as open up course design, I would love to, but I'm doing so many things that it's just, I can't add something to my plate. It would just add more than I'm ready to take on. All right. So let's see. The best board for business people that challenge your bad ideas and hold you accountable. Yeah, absolutely. You need both. You have 2 brothers for that. Yeah, usually your brothers will call you on your shit, right? Like, they should. All right. So does anybody have anything else to any questions about anything? I mean, if you wrote something, I didn't see it, I apologize. Like, it's scrolling through so fast. Yeah. Like, hey, I appreciate everybody believing in me. It means the world to me. Warm-up routine. I use a disc golf strong warm-up routine. I do some basic stretches, but the disc golf strong stretches. So it's not really, it's more of creating mobility, as opposed to, like, I think called isometric, where you simply just like lean over and touch your toes. That's not a really good stretch. There's other ways that actually release things more. Disc golf strong's the expert, not me, but I kind of follow their advice on that one. And then of course throwing. Is disc golf harder, easier, less at elevation? It's exactly the same. The shots are different, but they're different for everybody. All right. Deb Renner. Let's see. That's not. Are you going to follow the lead card to get some tips? Of course, I'm going to follow the lead card, and I'll get tips. I'll learn from everybody. Did I get the frisbee back from Mexico? No, because I didn't want to create an international incident by walking across into Mexico to get my frisbee back. I thought about it, but keep it cool when playing bad. It's a game of probabilities. X percentage of shots are going to go bad. Period. Can't even avoid that. It's like, what are your tips if you're a free throw shooter? From how do you handle when you miss a free throw? Well, 37% of your free throws miss if you're a 63% free throw shooter. There isn't nothing to adjust. You miss. Means nothing. Any shot impressed you today? Yeah, I was talking about this earlier. I kept to my game plan of playing conservative today and just throwing in the fairway, even if it meant throwing a sidearm hyzer to keep the top of the wind to the disc. It kept it safe and in bounds and worked out really well. Yeah, I would. If we're in the Sacramento area, we're going to be at the OTB and Santa Cruz. I think it's the only thing we're going to be, which isn't quite in the area. But if we do, hit me up. Did I mention my GK Pro Skins match? Yes, the DK Pro skins match is the one at Eagles Crossing, the largest skins match in the history of disc golf, and I was invited to be one of the 4 competitors. I will be there. Do you have ping pong on your Oculus? I don't know. I'm sure I did. I wouldn't know how to play though. I honestly, like, I have so little time right now, like with all the content I'm doing. But hit me up in the future. Let's see. There, one question. Disc golf hero. My disc golf hero. I don't know. I look up to everybody that's good right now. You know, my actual, like, you know, Dan Roddick, PDJ number 3, is probably my biggest hero in the sport, if there is somebody. But, you know, him and Riley Manderscheid and Riley. It was Dan Roddick and Riley Manderscheid. Yep. Yeah, it is gonna be a fun year. I love Jim Oates. I do. I've always gotten along great with Jim. Hear about Eagle practicing lefty. Yeah, I get why he's doing that. I mean, is any 1050 player going to start playing with the other hand and get their other hand up to 1050 level and be competitive? Really? Like, you know, especially when you have the best or one of the best sidearms in the world. I know his arm hurt. That's temporary. He'll get that fixed. All right, so I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up, everyone. I hope this didn't come across preachy. I didn't mean to act like I had all the answers. It's just something that, like, I feel really confident in my ability to talk on this topic. There's a million topics I won't even try to talk about, like, that I don't know anything about or that I'm terrible at. But this is one that I feel confident that the things I said are true. And I hope that y'all, no, I'm not surprised by anybody in the Pro Tour anymore. And yes, it will definitely help me in Waco. I'm going to play a little more conservative and I'll be shooting a lot better. But anyways, I hope you guys take something from this. Write me, comment, let me know. Here's a big one before everybody goes. Please, after we disconnect, not in the live chat, post in the comments if you like these, because this wasn't really disc golf related. This was more just other life stuff. And I don't know if y'all are interested in talking about non-disc golf stuff on a disc golfer channel. If you just want to hear about disc golf stuff, that's totally cool. Like, this is just kind of throwing this out there to see what y'all think. If you do like it, there's a whole lot of other things we can talk about, especially situational when they come up at the tournament, how to handle this or how the approach to that. I'm happy to, like, chat about these things. Just let me know, okay, everyone? Let me know in the comments, and the right dash makes you smarter. All right. So but not the comments here. After I disconnect and it's going to post to the YouTube channel, comment in there what you thought about this topic, and then I appreciate it. We'll see everybody in Waco tomorrow. My recap tomorrow won't be about me at all. It's just going to be about the tournament and about the competitors that are playing to win. All right. Thank y'all. I hope you all had a good time. I certainly enjoyed talking to everybody. All right. Thanks, everyone.